Hi, hello, how you doing? We're gonna do the haircut, the stable cosmetology, stable test haircut. I'm gonna show you the procedures on how I teach how to do the 90-degree haircut for the state of California, and follow me through, okay? So first, we need to have our mannequins or models or mannequins ready to work. In this case, I have my model ready to work right here. And I have my station already prepared. Everything is set up. That's in a different video. My mannequin has to be draped already. And what I'm gonna do, the first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna demonstrate the haircut. I did already half of the head on one side. I'm gonna do the other half. So the first thing you're gonna do is, you're gonna analyze the head and the scalp, and you're gonna make 4 sections. Once you have those things ready, you are going to, okay, let's begin. First of all, you need to sanitize your hands. That's very important before you touch your client, that's for sure. And then you're gonna make 4 sections, as everybody knows how to make 4 sections. And then out of those 4 sections, you're gonna take a hair section around the perimeter of the hairline, which is about 1 inch width, right? So you can see it over here. So little areas, some areas are a little more than 1 inch. And that is because the headline is not even. But we're gonna try to make a straight line all the way around, which can be around 1 inch. Remember, the hair is wet already, but if it's not completely wet, you can keep wetting it as you go through the haircut. So in this case, my haircut, I already let it dry because I was explaining it into a different class. But right now I'm gonna do it again. So I comb the hair is wet. You're supposed to start from the back. Now, in this case, you move around your model, your mannequin, but because of the camera, I will not be able to move too much. So that's why I kind of move the mannequin. Okay. All right, so first thing to do is I comb the hair, right? I wet it, sorry, let me get a comb. I use a white tooth comb to section because that way it's easier for me. But to do the actual haircut, I'm gonna use a styling comb and I'm gonna use a razor. This kind of razor, you can use this one, or you can use the feather razor or the regular razor that you use in your class. So I'm gonna put my mannequin straight. Let me see if this is straight to me. May not be too straight to you guys because it is an angle, my camera, oops. My camera is an angle, so there you go. Here we go. Make sure the head is wet. Like I said, I already cut the right side. So you're gonna notice that the right side is a little short, right? Because I just finished my class. So I'm gonna cut this side, right? From following my guideline. Now, if you see, this is the guideline. Oh, you don't see. There you go. You can see this is my guideline, right? And this is the hair that I need to cut more. So when you cut with a razor, you always wanna hold the razor away from your comb. You don't wanna have the comb and the razor together because when you comb, you can cut the hair. So keep the razor away. See, I'm holding it in a way that the blade is away from the comb, and I will not cut the hair. I have to hold it with the same hand. This is my guideline. I drop my guideline. See that? You see the guideline dropping here? So now I'm gonna place my blade here and I'm gonna cut it. See that? So you hold the hair with between your fingers from this part, from this folding of your finger to the tips. Don't hold the hair back here because right here we have no strength. So you're gonna cut the hair only from the folding of your fingers to the tips. Okay, and this goes to the floor. Get another piece. See another piece. See the guideline falling, and I cut it. See that? So don't put all the hand and try to cut from here, because right here you have no tension. In this part of your fingers, there's no tension. So your tension for the haircut is only between the second knuckle to the tips of your fingers. I go back and double check. It looks pretty even. Right now, remember, blade, when you cut with a razor, is never gonna be completely blunt. So my elevation, as you can see, is very close to the body. It's at 0 degree. And as I move forward, I'm going to place my hands in a little angle up. My hands is not in a horizontal shape no more. My hands are in angle. See that? Guideline drops. And then I place my blade following my fingers, and I cut in the same angle. Check. Move a little closer to the front. And I do the same. And I follow all the way to the front. Something happened right there that the hair was a little too short right here. Maybe previous haircut I made or something. See, and I keep moving an angle up. So this is 0 degrees, but the angle of my fingers is moving up higher, and I'm gonna follow this, the parting that I have up here, I follow this angle when I cut the bottom. So only cut whatever is from your second knuckle down. Keep moving. Like I said, I will move myself, but because of the video, I cannot keep moving the camera, so I have to move the mannequin. If this was a real client, I will probably just move myself. If you have little pieces of hair too long, just trim it. And so your angle is gonna go down. If you can see, the angle of the haircut is not horizontal, it goes in a diagonal line down, right? So once you finish with that, you're gonna leave the razor on the table, and my second part is gonna be at the nape. So back here, I'm gonna take a section from the occipital bone, right, towards the top of the ear. See that? So now it is gonna look more round, less oblong, or less oval, and I'm gonna have a more round section right here in the front. Just this parting is not even, but now I made it even. Clip the hair up. You see that? So it looks more round. Maybe a little bit lower back here still. It's still a little too high. Okay. See? Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure the hair is wet. Remember, if there is any water on the floor for the state test, you have to clean it right away. So this is just the procedure of the haircut. There will be more videos on how to do the whole thing together. So comb the hair down, grab my razor, back again. This part, I'm gonna do it with a razor. So I'm gonna start on the center back. I'm gonna use the fine side of the comb. That way I put more tension. And I'm gonna comb the hair, take a vertical panel or subsection and bring it to 45 degrees. The bottom is gonna be your guideline. Remember, you're gonna let your guideline drop. See this? Once this drop, then I can cut this hair with it that is in my fingers in a 45-degree angle. But I won't be able to cut this hair that is on the far side of my finger. So I'm just gonna place my blade right here and cut that piece. Grab a little more. See that? Drop my guideline and cut this hair at 45. If you have one little piece, go back again. Take another subsection. Same way. Make sure you comb the hair from the root to a 45-degree angle. Grab hair from the bottom as your guideline and cut it. Go a little higher and cut it. Take another section, do the same. Drop your guideline, cut this here at 45 degrees. See, I'm cutting just a little bit. All right. And right here. The last part. There we go. Now I want to go back and double check, making sure I did it right, because it can be that sometimes some little pieces stand out and you didn't cut it. So you always, when you go with a razor, kind of go back and double check, making sure that you cut all the hair that was supposed to be cut, and do not exceed, do not cut too much. Don't cut whatever is short, just cut whatever is longer. And you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. See right here, it's pretty good. All right, finish with your blade. What you're gonna do with this, if you're not gonna use it no more, you're gonna put it on your soil implements. Close it and put it on your soil implements. If you're using the feather one, you don't need to close it, just put it on your soil implements. So let's pretend that I did both sides, right? On this side, you do the same thing, you follow through, do your partings, right? Wet it, and you do the same, 45-degree angle, okay? You do a 45-degree angle here. Oh, I'm missing here a little piece. It's always good to have both sides down so you can do more even hair. All right, so once you finish, now I'm gonna do the top, but because it's too much of the hair right here, as you can see, it's too large of the section to do it in one. I'm gonna divide it on two sections. Maybe even three, depends how big is the mannequin. So, but try to take about 1.5 inches at a time. Don't take too large of the subsection, because then you can lose your guidelines or have a little uneven haircut. So you see, I'm not going a straight horizontal, I still go into a round shape. Can you see this? I still follow the hair into a little bit of round shape. So I'm not going completely, straight, horizontal. Then this one, I follow through as well. See that? So I follow all the way to the front. Even though it's just a little tiny hair, but that will make a difference. So if I put my head this way, this is the face, right? You can see that it's not straight. You can still see the circular shape. So maybe if I put the camera in a different way, you can see it. Let me move my camera. You can see it, right? me see. There you go. Okay, so you can see it's still round the shape. Right here is the face, so you can see the face. Now let's do the next part. So right here, remember, I always like to start from the back, center back towards the front. I make sure the hair is wet. And now this part of the haircut, I'm gonna do it with the scissors. I'm not gonna do it with the razor no more. The razor is gone, I'm finished, I'm done. Now, there are two different ways you can hold the hair. You can hold the hair in this position, like the fingers out, right? That's one position. That is more of the French technique. And if you hold it within your hands like this, within your finger hands like that, that is more of the pivot point, I will say more, not pivot point, Vidal Sassoon technique, okay? He's the one who kind of come out with all these techniques for more precise haircuts. So if I cut it right here, right, I'm gonna see my guideline underneath. I don't know if you see it. It's not as noticeable because we did it with the razor, but I'm lifting the hair at 90 degrees straight out. If you can see, this is straight up. You put my camera, right? I'm not pulling the hair back or forward. It has to be straight out this way. And then I hold it within my fingers to a 90-degree elevation. See that? So it is straight up. Straight up. This is 90 degrees for that specific section. If I lift the hair more, it will be more than 90. It will probably be 130. If I go lower, it will be like 40, 45. So it has to be straight up this way. Okay. So that's why this is called 90-degree haircut. Oh, my hand hurts already for holding it for too long. All right, so I am holding it within my hands, right? And I'm gonna cut it following my guideline. I'm not gonna cut my guideline. I'm just gonna cut the hair that is above the guideline. Then I take 1/2 inch, separate, bring the next section straight out, the same. You guys can see my guideline down here, right? So I'm gonna cut this hair. And like I said, you can use this technique without Sassoon or more modern technique, or you can use the French technique. Okay, so both ways are the same. The only thing is you need to make sure that you follow your guidelines. Elevations are correct. The only downside by cutting it this way is that if you're not careful, you can cut your skin right here. The skin that you have in between your knuckles, you can cut it. So you have to be careful. Don't cut too close to your fingers. I left. See that, my guideline? I don't know if you can see it. I probably need a, see that? That's the guideline. I'm not gonna cut that part. I'm gonna cut this here that is above the guideline. A 90 degree. So I'm gonna do half. Then probably I change. I got tired of doing that technique, but just be consistent on your techniques. Don't go back and forward like I'm doing. I'm just doing it so you guys can see what it's about, how it looks like. But use one technique because otherwise the haircut can have a different tension and it's not gonna look very even. So I connect this here. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it because it's difficult. See, I separate the hair. As I keep cutting the hair, I separate the hair. I'm not keeping it the same. See, my guideline is down here and it's also back here. So I just follow. See, I'm pulling the hair back, taking another section, See, and I kind of isolate that area that I need to cut the hair. All right, see the guideline back here? How you see it? Yeah, there we go. And only cut whatever comes out or stands out. Isolate that hair. See right here? Guideline, I need to cut this hair piece. It may be a little bit, but that little bit will make a difference. So see, now I'm lifting at 90 degrees. See that? For that specific area, this is 90 degrees. And like I said in another video, before you move up, you always have to double check your haircut. So you can cross check right now before you continue. And how do you cross check? Well, take one section of the head from the very top section that you cut, bring it up 90 degrees, same elevation, and then you're gonna check your ends. If your ends looks even, you did a good job. But if the ends are uneven, one side is a little longer than the other one, maybe you need to go back and check and cut the hair. Don't just cut it here. Go back and find the mistake. That's why it's so important to cross-check as you move up, because that way you don't finish the haircut and then you have to go all over the haircut and find out that you have a mistake and you have to start all over from zero. So it's much easier to cross-check as you move up. See, so it looks good. Take another, now this is still too much. This is still too much hair for me to handle with my fingers, right? If I had larger hands, maybe I will, but not me. So I'm gonna take another, I'm gonna still divide it in two, right? And I go in a little bit of angle. And now remember, I do the same thing to the other side. Finish this side, I will do the same to the other side. And right here I can, but I don't want to mess up my haircut, so I will just divide it in half as well. So at the end, you're gonna have like a little circle up here. See this? You have like a little circle remaining on the very top crown of the head. And I'm gonna start again from the back, moving forward, from the center back. As you can see, I know what is the center back. But the hair, make sure the hair is nice and wet and do the same thing. Take a section, right, on the center, comb the hair straight out. And remember, we have the guideline from underneath. Now, my elevation for this 90 is gonna be different. Now, my elevation is here. See that? How do I know what is 90 for this section? Is I place my comb on the base and whatever, I place it flat, whatever is that lifts, that's my 90 degrees, right? For down here, the 90 was here with this elevation. Now, as I move up, my elevation goes a little higher. So I will do this and you see my guideline? See that? Let me go back a little more. You can see the difference, right? So I can bring it up nice and tight. Don't cut the guideline. Just cut whatever hair is above and stands out. Take half an inch. Take another half an inch. Pull the hair away. I don't need to take the whole section from the bottom as long as I have my guideline. Lift the hair at 90 degrees and cut the hair. All right. Maybe that way. Take half of this hair. Isolate my subsection or my panel. It's like when you're cutting a piece of cake, right? You want to make it nice and clean. You don't want to make a mess. Right? And 90 degrees. At the California state test, you will have 30 minutes to finish this haircut. And if you have practice and you have a specific technique, don't change it. Just keep the technique that the teacher has taught you in the past, or I have taught you. But just be concise with what you do. Do it at the best you can. See my guideline here? Don't cut the guidelines. Don't cut the hair that is short already, because you end up with shorter hair. And you will have time to finish and cross-check. But you just have to understand how to do the haircut. Right? See that? See this? Now, a common mistake I'm gonna show you right now. A common mistake that a lot of, I see a lot of students do is they try to hold all the hair from the very bottom, and then they put all the hair here. See that? This is already short, and the only the hair that I need to cut is back here. You have no tension. You're holding too much hair on your hands. You need to hold the hair that you're gonna cut it in between the tips of your finger and your second knuckle. So there's no reason why you need to get the rest of the hair. See that difference? May look like a little bit, but it makes a big difference when you hold the hair correctly. And you even work less. See that guideline? I'm gonna cut this. Separate the hair. And now as I'm moving towards the front, my sectioning is moving as well. I'm going as if this was a pie shape right here. See here? Don't cut whatever I already cut. You see some hair that is shorter, leave it alone. All right. This to the side and here, right? So you see that? I'm elevating a 90 degrees. So little by little, I've been moving the hair up to 90. So before I move to my next section, what do? I cross-check, right? So I take a little bit section from the very top, elevate a 90, because that's the way I cut it, a 90, and making sure it's even. If the ends seem uneven, maybe we have to go back and find a mistake, right? Here, they look pretty even. And here, up 90, too much hair. Don't grab too much hair too, neither, because the hair rotates. Now, I can see that right here is a little longer. So that means that probably right here, I did something wrong. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna cut the front. Now I'm gonna go from the front back and double check. Maybe there was something that I didn't do right on the first haircut. The first cut that I did. All right, cross check again. Yeah, now it looks more even. All right, so now I'm gonna take these other two clips. These clips, they go to your soil implements. You're not gonna use them anymore. As you take out the clips from the head, you put it on your soil implements. Now I'm gonna comb the hair down. By now, this hair's kind of dry already. So now where do I start? Do you remember where I was, the center of my sections? It was right here. The center of my section was right here. So from this point, I'm gonna comb the hair around, right? Forward and around. And I'm gonna start to take my sections from this point, as if it was a pie, triangular subsections. I wanna show you, maybe you can see it. See that? So I start from the point and make a triangular subsection where it is a little more wider on the bottom and thinner on the very top. So I'm going to take this hair, comb the hair up, find what is my 90 degrees now for this section. What is my 90 degrees? Well, I put my comb, and this is the hair that I'm gonna cut, so it's all the way up here, all right? So I'm gonna come up here, see, I can see my guideline underneath, and I'm gonna cut this here. Okay, so I bring it up. Take another panel, do the same. Take half of that I just finished cutting, which is gonna be extremely thin at the top, but it's more thicker at the bottom. Take another subsection, comb the hair using the fine side of the comb, straight up, and you can see. You can see your guideline. I can see, let me do it again. That's why the haircut doesn't come out even. And I'm cutting on top of my fingers now. Take half of the hair, put it away, and continue going in circle around the head like that. Grab your guideline from the bottom, right? And take a little bit of hair at a time. Don't get scissor happy and end up cutting too much. All right, see, right here. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm moving up a little bit, right? Put the clip away. Now see, I'm going towards the face and I do the same. I take a triangle here. I know you can see it, but always keeping my my section starting from my starting point, which is my pivot point. I don't know if you guys heard about pivot point technique. This is something like that, similar to pivot point, because your pivot is the center, right? Is the point where everything moves, where everything is connected. That's a pivot. So there's also a pivot technique for rollers, pivot technique for hair cutting, like the one I'm doing. I'm using French cutting technique, blonde cut, right? I'm not point cutting. You don't do that as paper, because they want to make sure that you do straight, even haircut. Right? You see the guideline? I don't cut this much. So once you finish, right, this section, what you're gonna do is finish. Wow, haircut almost done. You're gonna cross check. I'm gonna grab a section around, bring it up, and cross check the haircut. Let me put this little far because it's too close. You don't see it. Maybe this way you can see it. Okay. So you bring it up and you cross check. See that? It's even. I don't have to cut unless I find a mistake. Right? A little bit here. That's it. You cross check the haircut. It's pretty even. And before you stop working and leave your stuff ready, you have time. You yourself cross check the haircut in any direction. It has to be even. On any direction. You don't have to have a specific direction as long as you elevate the hair at 90 degrees. And so let's pretend that you finished, because I did both sides at different times. So you finish, right? And you cross check both sides, making sure they're even, right? If you have one side a little longer than the other one, well, maybe something happened. Pretty much even in between, right? In between the partings, you want to cross check the haircut. You make sure you take all the hair out of the cape. Put the hair away from the face of your mannequin. Even though it's your mannequin, you don't want to have hair all over the place, like It's crazy. I'm gonna put a little bit away from the face. And once you finish your shears and your comb, you put it on your soiled implements. You sanitize your hands and you step back. You don't have to sweep the hair right now because the examiner needs to check the haircut before you clean the floor. So they're gonna come, they're gonna ask you for a clean comb. You're gonna sanitize your hands first, right? You're gonna use a hand sanitizer and give them a brand new comb. They're gonna check the haircut, make sure it's even, right? That you follow your guideline, that you don't have an even haircut. They're gonna give you the comb and they're gonna tell you to sweep the floor. At this point, you're gonna disinfect your, you're gonna get your disinfectant wipes and you're gonna disinfect the handles and of the pan and the broom. Clean the floor, from the hair from the floor, make it as clean as it was. Disinfect, put the hair away, throw it in the trash. They will tell you what trash to use because it has to have a lid. And then you're gonna disinfect the handles of your broom and your pan. Put it back again where you grab it from. Sanitize your hands and step back. And you're gonna wait for the following instructions. So those are the procedures for a basic 90-degree haircut for skateboard. This is how I teach my students. Hopefully it will help you in the future. And if you have any questions, just rewind. I put as much as notes that I can remember. And thank you so much. Bye.